Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to tackle the question of chronic cardio, whether or not it's bad for you or it's okay to be running 45 minutes every day, moderately. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my books, my recipes, my podcasts, all this stuff might help you out. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. Now, what's chronic cardio? Some of you might have heard of chronic cardio. Chronic cardio is essentially doing moderate aerobic activity for 30 to 45 minutes a day, typically running or rowing or elliptical or something like that. And there's two kind of groups behind what their opinion of chronic cardio is. So on one group, they're going to tell you that chronic cardio is bad. Now, historically, we've always seen any type of physical activity as good, better than sedentary. But this group, which I think is probably more pushed by the paleo CrossFit group, will tell you that chronic cardio is bad. And the main argument is a couple of them. One, they'll say that the body is releasing too much cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that's released by the adrenal gland, which is the same gland that releases adrenaline. And the body can handle cortisol being released. I mean, that's its whole job, is to release things like fight or flight, for example. As long as the body can heal and take time to recover, and then the body reabsorbs cortisol. Cortisol, though, if it's left in the bloodstream, leads to fat storage. You see this played out with adrenal fatigue. You see this played out with people that have Cushing's disease and these congenital or autoimmune adrenal issues. So that's one of the arguments. The other argument is that it slows down your fat loss, and also it can lead to you not developing your muscles and strength training, and it can just slow down your overall process and actually can increase your appetite, so you tend to be overeating in the long run. Now the other argument against the chronic cardio, so that it's okay to do this, is they'll say that there's really no studies, and there's more of a history of studies that show that doing moderate exercise is good for you, because we do know it burns calories. And so long as the body is eating well and resting well, there's no problem with doing what is perceived to be chronic cardio, 30 to 45 minutes of whatever you like to do. They will tell you that the paleo people, or the people that push that, are wrong, and that there's no studies that vindicate that argument. So what do you really believe? I would tell you that, look, as we know, there's confirmation bias. We'll find studies that always confirm what we want. I would tell you that the best thing to do is a hybrid of exercise. We know that HIIT, or high intensity interval training, has gained popularity in the last 10, 15 years with CrossFit, for example. I would say lamentably to the fact that many women are getting all these muscles, which it's not that feminine. But CrossFit, or high intensity interval training, CrossFit's a form of it, certainly is a good thing to do. And you see like this incorporation of strength training and quick cardio. So another kind of avenue of quick cardio would be sprinting. And we might have a future episode on sprinting. Just sprinting as hard as you can, and of course it depends on your fitness level, weight level. Everyone's going to have different times. But you can sprint as hard as you can for 30 seconds, wait a minute, and then sprint out as hard as you can. You do this 7 times, you will be tired. You will be tired. So sprinting definitely has its place, I think, in the exercise world. Now, those who say chronic cardio is bad will tell you that because those people aren't strength training is important. Strength training is important. And I mentioned that in the episode about like how we need to move the body and shock the body. And part of shocking the body is going to be doing strength training. So we do want to do strength training. We want to do resistance, use resistance bands. We want to do yoga. We want to do a wide variety, like intense yoga. We want to do a wide variety of things. I would tell you that yes, especially if you're a man, if you're only doing a slow, 11-minute mile every day, pretty much every day, and that's all you're doing, that's probably not great, because A, you're not really optimizing your workout, and you're not doing any strength training, which is arguably more important for men, and you're not mixing things up. The body can get accustomed to what you're doing. So move the body, shock the body. So if you liked doing the moderate to intense cardio, that's fine, but you need to mix things up with strength training. If it's not lifting weights, then again, do resistance stuff, do Pilates, do push-ups and burpees and lift heavy things. The paleo people will say, you don't need to go to the gym, just lift heavy things around the house. But you need to mix it up. Variety is the spice of life on a lot of things. And I would tell you, because we have that episode of stop spending too much time lifting weights. So I think the chronic cardio, the other group that likes to put down the chronic cardio types are the ones who lift 4 hours a day and they're gigantic, but they still have a belly and they can't turn their neck because they're so roided up looking. And so I would tell you guys that, of course, you need to do more cardio because that has to do with heart health. And so understand, everybody's in one of two camps. There's barely ever a middle ground. You're either going to see people who lift too much, who can't do cardio, or you're going to see a lot of cardio guys who maybe aren't as built as they used to be or they should be. We have that episode here about like what's the ideal body that women desire. So understand that everyone's going to have certain biases, but I would just tell you variety is the spice of life and mix it up. So if you're doing chronic cardio every day, do mix it up with sprints and strength training and Pilates and all these things that we talked about. Because we want to mix up the diet, right? The more colorful the vegetables, that's great. The more wide variety of food you're getting, that's great. But you should say the same thing about your exercise as well. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.